All right, Ms. Jackson, are you able to remove your mask?
I am.
Thank you. Could you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you will provide to this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can have a seat and pull yourself up to the microphone. All right, will you please state and spell your name for the record?
It's Ashley Jackson, ASHLEY JACKSON.
And Ms. Jackson, are you a resident of Clayton County?
I am.
And how long have you been a resident of Clayton County?
All my life.
All right, and are you familiar with the area of Forest Parkway at the intersection of Riverdale Road?
I am.
Now, is that location in Clayton County?
It is.
And were you in the area of Forest Parkway and Riverdale Road on May 7, 2019?
I was.
And why were you in that area that day?
I was getting off work.
Okay, and about what time would that have been?
A little bit after 6 p.m.
Now, where do you work? Like, actually, where is it located? Where would you have been coming from that day?
Atlanta South Parkway.
And is that connected to Forest Parkway?
It is.
Now, can you explain what happened as you turned off of Atlanta South Parkway onto Forest Parkway on May 7, 2019?
I was getting off work. As I was approaching Forest Parkway, I was making a left off Atlanta South Parkway. As I was making my left and getting into the far right lane, Miss Hannah was coming up Forest Parkway. She was coming from the end off of Highway 85, and she almost ran me off the road. She was speeding. She was going very fast. When she almost ran me off the road, my coworker actually called me and was like, "That car almost ran you off the road." And I said, "Yeah, she's probably going to cause an accident." So I proceeded up Forest Parkway. She was weaving in and out of traffic. Once I got towards Riverdale Road, I saw Miss Payne had caused the accident.
Now, when you say she was weaving in and out of traffic, were you the only car that she almost ran off the road?
The right lane really didn't even have any cars in that lane, but she was still going like left, right, making other cars hit their brakes.
Now, as you got closer to Riverdale Road, when you said you saw that she caused an accident, can you explain to the jury what you actually saw?
As I got to Riverdale Road, traffic was everywhere. Well, traffic was stopped. It was just one of those days that it was just very busy. There was already something going on at the highway. People were out walking all over the place. And she had maneuvered her car in front of another vehicle and stopped them and caused the scene.
Now, do you recall if they actually collided at the point that you saw?
I don't really believe they actually collided. I'm not sure. I don't want to say something that I didn't see.
And once you saw the defendant's vehicle cornering the other vehicle, what did you, if anything, did you see her do?
I saw her at the driver's side door of the vehicle, yelling obscenities for the man to get out the car. It looks like she was trying to fight him through the window.
And what was her demeanor at this time?
Very aggressive. Very aggressive.
And what made you kind of stop at that time?
Because she was yelling, "Get out of the car, MFer," like banging at him like this, like, "Get out of the car." So it was the big scene.
Now, do you recall if the victim's window was up or down at that time?
I want to say his window was down. I can't recall if it was all the way down, but it was down. And she was like trying to fight him through the window.
And when you say she was trying to fight him through the window, what did you actually see?
I just saw her hands moving, "Get out of the car, motherfucker," doing all this. I never saw anyone's hands come out of the window, per se, but I did see her at the window.
And could you see anything that the victim was doing inside of the vehicle at that time?
I couldn't see anything he was doing inside the vehicle. I never saw his hands come out of the vehicle from where I was.
Now, after you observed her hands moving and telling the victim to get out of the vehicle, what, if anything else, did you see?
Her pull a gun. After she pulled the gun, she shot him and she said, "Now you need an ambulance."
Now, when she pulled the gun, when did you hear the shot?
Immediately.
Now, were you able to observe any of the victim's demeanor during the entire incident?
No.
And do you see the person who shot the victim in the courtroom today?
I do.
Can you identify them by an article of clothing they're wearing and identify where they're sitting in the courtroom?
She's sitting directly in front of me wearing a blue shirt.
Let the record reflect that the witnesses identified the defendant in open court.
The record will reflect.
Now, did you know the defendant prior to the incident?
No.
And did you know the victim prior to this incident?
No.
Now, after the victim was shot, what happened?
He he just laid back in his seat. His eyes went white. He just laid back. She stood back. I think everybody like ran towards her. I think I even came towards her and I was like, "Oh my God, you shot him." Somebody else waved down a police officer. He was already at the exit. The officer came running up. He said, "What happened? Who shot?" She tried to say that he grabbed her gun, but everyone immediately said, "No, that's not true," because that's not true. The man never grabbed her gun. And he put her in handcuffs.
Now, what was the defendant's demeanor immediately after the victim was shot?
She had no remorse. She was just like, she was thugged out. She had no remorse at all. She was so right in that moment. She felt like she had done something.
Now, did you ever see the defendant attempt to render any aid to the victim?
Not at all.
Right.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Take cross-examination, Attorney Tucker.
Hi, Ms. Jackson. My name's Matt Tucker. I'm the attorney for Ms. Payne. And I've got a few questions to ask. You stated that you were coming home from work. Is that an accurate diagram of where it occurred in front of you?
Yes.
Okay. Could you show me where you saw the accident happen and where you were positioned?
I was coming from this way.
Mm-hmm. And which way were you turning?
I was going to make, this is McDonald's, I was going to make a turn this way to go down Roosevelt Road.
Okay. Had you already-
So I saw the accident here. I ended up being back here. She was like right in here somewhere. It was right in here somewhere. So it was maybe 1 or 2 cars in front of me.
Okay. And so how far would you say you were from the accident?
I was literally right there. I had pulled my vehicle around another car so I can get a good glimpse because I was trying to record it, but it happened so fast I couldn't even record it.
Okay. And you stated you were right there beside him on the left side of it, on the right side? Do you recall?
I wasn't right there beside them, but I was right there. I wouldn't say I was right there beside them.
Yes, ma'am. 5, 6, and 7.
Yes.
These are pictures of the accident that have already been put into evidence.
Okay.
Okay, so as you see that, and where were you at in relation to that position?
I had to be probably back here a little bit somewhere. I had pulled my vehicle over this way so I could see.
Okay, and I'm gonna put one on the screen.
Okay.
And you said you were where now?
Probably right up in here somewhere I pulled my vehicle. Oh, okay.
Would that other picture be a better picture? That shows more of the road?
My vehicle's over here somewhere by these white lines. I pulled my vehicle over here.
Okay, if you could, do you see on your screen? All right. You should have the capability to circle and a color will come up. Can you circle where you were?
Over in this area right here, over here.
Okay. So you were coming off of Riverdale Road or Forest Parkway?
It's coming out Forest Parkway.
Okay. And you see the diagram there that shows the roads. So you were behind them. You were behind the red truck.
I was one or two cars behind the red truck.
Okay.
When I saw the accident, I pulled over that way. I pulled my vehicle up this way so I could see traffic was stopped.
Okay, so when you pulled did you kind of pull on the sidewalk or to the side of it?
I pulled where I circled it. I pulled over that area.
Okay, so you were closer to the median.
I pulled right there where I circled it.
Okay, ma'am, if you look at the other picture, do you see a median?
I do see a median. So
Okay.
that's where I pulled it. I pulled over that way.
Okay, and
So I could get a better look. I was trying to record, but I couldn't get my camera open fast enough because it happened so fast.
okay, so you pulled over there. On the other side of the truck or the Jeep, was there any traffic or anything stopping anybody from going that angle? To pull up?
Traffic was stopped. There was a traffic jam. There was something going on at the highway. Nobody was barely moving. It was a little traffic moving, but nobody was barely moving.
Okay, and you said that she was cutting in and out of traffic?
Coming up Forest Parkway.
Okay, and you said that she cut one of your coworkers off, and that coworker,
No, she almost ran me off the road, and my coworker was behind me, and she called me and she said, "Dang, that car almost ran you off the road." And I said, "Yeah, she probably gonna cause an accident."
okay, now ma'am, do you recall having a meeting with the detectives on this matter?
I did come in for an interview.
Okay, and in that interview, do you recall speaking with the detectives?
Yep.
Okay, and in that interview, do you recall telling them about the incident as you just described right there?
Yes.
Okay. And in this interview, to the best of your knowledge, do you recall telling them that he almost ran my coworker off and never once mentioned that he almost ran you off the road?
That's not true.
That's not true, okay?
I said she almost ran me off the road because that's what happened.
Yes, you may.
What I hold here is the transcripts of your interview with the detectives. If you could look at that to refresh your memory of what was said that day. And particularly what I'm asking, and you have, please take your time to look at whatever you want to in that, but I'm particularly looking at page number 3.
Page number 3.
Yes, ma'am. And it's where Detective Chapman is saying, is she coming from behind you?
That's not what page 3 says.
Did you have more than one interview
No.
with the detectives? If I may approach, Your Honor.
You may.
I think it was in more detail. Page 4, so it'll be page 3 right here. There you go. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
If I could bring your attention to where it says, so she came from behind, I didn't even see her coming, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then Detective Chapman says, sure. He said, one of my coworkers,
Oh, hold on a second, Attorney Tucker. You have to articulate.
Okay.
Because our court reporter has to record and we can't record.
Okay.
Thank you.
and it says, one of my coworkers, she was pulling up behind me and she says, dang, that car almost ran me off the road. And you said, yeah, that crazy bitch is gonna cause an accident. You recall saying that,
Yes.
okay? Do you recall saying, and you can look to refresh your memory, that you said that she almost ran you off the road, or did you use the comment that your friend said, your coworker?
My coworker called me and she said, dang, that car almost ran you off the road. And I said, yes. That crazy bitch is gonna cause an accident.
Now, can you look at the statement I was saying right there where it says Ashley Jackson says, one of
Yes.
my coworkers, she was pulling up behind me and she called me and says, dang, that car almost ran her off the road. Not you, her. Is that correct?
I said what I said. I'm not sure why it says her, but when I said it, I was speaking in third person. Like, my coworker's calling me saying, dang, that car almost ran you off the road. So I'm not sure why it's typed that way.
So you're saying whoever listened to this audio of your interview inadvertently put her instead of you?
Could have been.
Okay. And you do recall saying, yeah, that crazy bitch is going to cause an accident.
Yes.
Okay. So at that time, you had decided because of her driving that she was a crazy bitch, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And
Pretty much.
Okay. And you didn't know what was going on. You didn't know why she was driving that way. You just assessed that that's who she is based on that driving.
She was speeding up the road and she almost ran me off the road. So that's someone's natural reaction. So I'm not judging her per se because I don't know her, but that's someone's natural reaction when someone almost runs you off the road. You like, dang. So yes, that is my comment, and that's what I said at the time.
Now you said there was traffic everywhere. Everybody was stopped and it was real slow, correct?
Once we got to Riverdale Road, it was stopped. But while we were traveling to Forest Parkway, the traffic was not stopped. We were still moving.
Okay. So it's fair to say that there were still cars moving and that cars could go around that accident either to the right or to the left, correct?
On Forest Parkway,
Yes, ma'am.
once you got to Riverdale Road, you really couldn't go because there was traffic. So you had to wait.
So how is she weaving in and out and going past you if it was traffic stopped right up there?
So Atlanta South Parkway and Forest and Riverdale Road are a little ways from each other. So she was weaving through traffic going up Forest Parkway. Once we got to Riverdale Road, that's when traffic was stopped.
And could you show me on that diagram that's right there? And you can stand up and show it, please.
What do you want me to show you?
Show you the direction of your travel and the direction of her travel.
We were coming from here, going towards here. This is where traffic was stopped because the highway is, I think this is the highway maybe? I'm not sure. Wherever the highway is, there was a incident. Like I said, the police officer was already on the scene. So traffic was very heavy here in this area. Nobody was really moving. But coming up Forest Parkway, we were able to move.
Okay. And so you're coming this direction, correct? Down that road, as you said.
Correct.
Okay. And the accident was where? You said was.
The accident was in here. The accident was in this area.
Okay. So, as you see that turn lane right there, he appears to be turning right on to Riverdale Road, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And you're saying she came around and cut him off up there where he appears to be turning right, correct?
That's correct. You see how her
And
vehicle
you were
is?
turning left, correct?
I was going to turn left, but when I saw the incident, I got behind them because I wanted to see what was going on.
Okay. So you're behind them and you're saying you're at the meeting, correct?
So there was maybe 1 or 2 cars in front of me initially, but once I saw what was going on, I pulled my vehicle over because I wanted to see. I was trying to record.
All right. And what
I
happened?
didn't know all that was going to happen.
What happened to the 1 or 2 cars that were in front of you?
They still were there. I moved my car out. Like I told you, I pulled my vehicle out so I could get a better view.
Okay, so using this picture here, can you show me where the 1 or 2 cars were positioned?
They were over that way.
Maybe if you could use the screen, you could mark
They
it.
were over this way. They were over here.
Okay.
I pulled my vehicle out.
So it's fair to say that where they were at, it was clear they could pull up there, or they could keep going past it, or get around that.
Nobody could go once she did that.
Excuse me?
Nobody could move in that lane once she did that.
Okay, in that lane. But was the area, you see where a walkway and all that area is it fair to say that that was clear they could have drove around the vehicles?
On the sidewalk?
Yes, ma'am.
Who was driving on the sidewalk?
I'm asking, is it possible they could have gone around the traffic, around that, on the sidewalk? Was it clear?
Who was driving on the sidewalk?
Ma'am, I'm asking you a question. I'm not here to answer
I'm not
questions.
going to say somebody was going to drive on the sidewalk. I'm not understanding why
All right, I'm
somebody would
asking
be
you a
driving on the
clear
sidewalk.
question. Is it possible for somebody to have gone up on that sidewalk and drove around the accident? Whether you would do it or not, was it possible?
I'm not sure.
Okay. And you said those 2 cars pulled over there.
Those 2 cars were, it was 1 or 2 cars over here. I pulled my car out at an angle so I could see.
And that would be at the kind of the top of the area.
Kind of where I circled it over here. That's where I pulled my car over in that area.
But on this, you're saying that they're turning right, going upward, correct? Following that flow of the diagram.
What are you asking?
If I may approach you. According to your statement, you're saying they're coming this way, going this way, correct?
That's where the accident happened.
Okay, so they're going this way. And you say you pull over here at the median. And they're right there, correct?
Pull over this way, right over here, so I can record.
So right in this area here.
So wherever this is right here, I pulled right here.
Okay. And you stated you got on the median, you went reaching for your phone, correct?
I was still looking. I was trying to fumble with my phone like this, but I could never get my recorder out. Get my camera to come on. It happened so fast.
And this is why you were talking to your coworker on the phone, correct?
Nope. I was talking to my coworker on the phone back on Forest Parkway when I first pulled out. When I got to this point, me and my coworker were not on the phone. I was looking. I was trying not to miss anything. I was trying to hurry up and get my camera to come on, but I could never get my camera to come on because it happened so fast.
All right. And do you recall looking down further where the Detective Chapman said right? Would you have said the same thing? And you said right. So there's no cars in this lane, but there's cars in this lane. Okay, which lane are you talking about?
So in the right lane on Forest Parkway, there were barely any cars, but in the left lane, like she could have just went up that lane, but like I said, there were cars in the left lane. She kept weaving through traffic. That's why I said that.
All right, so where she's parked right there, it appears she's come over into that lane, you say the right lane, correct?
Okay, so when I turned off of Atlanta South Parkway, it's further ways from Riverdale Road. So she didn't have to weave in and out of traffic. That's what I'm saying. She kept weaving in and out of traffic. There was no need for her to do that. She could have stayed in the right lane.
All right, and as you said, she's weaving in and out of traffic.
Yep.
Was she in that turn lane, or was she in the lane going straight?
She was out my sight by that time. By the time I got down to Riverdale Road, she had already caused a little accident and was out at his window. So that's when I saw her, when she was out at his window.
Okay, so you didn't see that maneuver or whatever they're saying. You didn't see the Jeep pull in front.
No, I
or
didn't.
you
I didn't see
it?
how she maneuvered and landed in front of him. I just knew that's what she did. By the time I got to Riverdale Road, she was already at his window, fighting him and doing all that.
So you don't know if another car caused her to go into that direction. You just presume, because she was a crazy bitch driver, that she did that, correct?
Nobody caused her to go into that vehicle.
But you said you didn't see it.
No, I didn't see it.
So why are you so certain that nobody caused her to do that?
Because nobody else was on the scene.
Okay.
Nobody else was in an accident. Nobody else was in an accident.
All right, so you're saying that the red truck hit her car?
It's not what I'm saying.
Okay, what are you saying?
Listen. I don't know how they collided, so I never said anything about that. So I don't want to answer any questions about that because I never said how they collided. When I got to Riverdale Road, that was the scene.
Okay.
And I saw her at his driver's side window fighting him and cursing.
All right, so you never saw her exit the Jeep, and anything that occurred, you only saw her at the window, as you said, banging on the window or banging on the truck, correct?
She was banging at the window. I thought she was banging at the window at first, but then I realized she was like attacking him through the window.
Okay. And you said attacking him from the window. So the angle you have, if she's at the window, you can't see who's inside the truck, correct? Is that fair to say?
No, I could clearly see.
You could clearly see who's in the window at the angle you were at.
I could clearly see.
And you were in the driver's side of the vehicle that you pulled over in that meeting, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and from that angle, with her standing at the window, you could see who was in the vehicle and what was going on.
I could see her at the vehicle. Her arms were moving like this. Get out of the car, MF her. She pulled the gun out and shot him. I could clearly see.
And you are positive she was saying MF.
Very positive.
Okay. It wasn't saying anything else, but positive that the curse word you heard was MF.
Yes, she was saying get out of the car, and then she shot him, and then she said, now you need an ambulance.
All right, and you said that she shot him. How did she shoot him? Did you see the shot?
I saw her pull out the gun and shoot him.
So she pulled out a gun and pow, shot him?
Yes, in the midst of the situation she had going on, she pulled out the gun and shot him.
Okay, and she pulled out the gun. Was she outside the vehicle when she pulled out the gun?
Yes, she was at his driver's side door.
And then she shot outside the car or
Yeah.
the truck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So your testimony is that you pull up to the median, stop. From that angle, two cars are in front of you that move out of your way. So
Those cars never moved out of my way. I pulled my car out to the side, like I said, to get a better view so I could record.
And you said the other two cars pulled over to the side, correct?
I never said those cars moved.
You just drew a line up there, man.
I said those cars were already right there. I
Okay.
never said those cars moved.
But they were in front of you at one point.
They were, and I pulled my car to the side.
Okay. So you pull your car to the side to see it. You're grabbing your phone trying to figure out how to record, correct?
That's correct.
And during this process of trying to figure out how to record, you're watching her and seeing the individual inside that truck.
I watched her the whole time. I was trying to like move my fingers by memory. I could never get my camera to open. It happened so fast.
Okay. But during that period of time, you're trying to get your phone to do a recording. You're looking.
Your Honor, ask the answer.
I'm
Ask the same question multiple
Your response, Attorney
Your
General.
Honor, she is not giving a definite answer of, and my question would be, if I could finish it, would,
Finish your response.
okay, I have not finished my question, Your Honor. I was gonna talk about the face she said she thought she saw, and I was gonna ask what was the demeanor of the individual inside the truck?
Okay, I'm going to sustain the objection. She has been asked, she's answered the same question several times. Now you can move on to your next question, but she has answered.
And I would respectfully request the court, I never asked what the demeanor of the driver's face was. She never answered
Your
that.
next question.
Okay. What was the demeanor of the person inside the truck face?
I never really saw his face until afterwards. Until after she had shot him and everybody was out the car, everybody was trying to see if he was okay. That's the only time I really saw up close of his face.
Okay, and then when you stated that you remember hearing her say a comment of now you need an ambulance.
Correct.
Okay, was that before or after she was on the phone with 911 requesting an ambulance?
I never saw her call 911 for an ambulance. When she shot him, she said, now you need an ambulance.
Okay, and so after she shot him, you said she walked away and did not pick up a phone?
She never walked away.
Okay, did she pick up a phone?
I don't recall her picking up a phone.
And
I never said that in my statement.
Ma'am, I'm asking you from your memory and seeing what you...
I don't recall her walking away and picking up a phone.
Okay, do you recall her calling or talking or overhearing her say...
I do not recall her picking up a phone to call an ambulance.
So it's fair to say that when the incident occurred and everybody is stepping up to see what's going on, as the congregation gets around the truck right there, you're telling me you didn't hear her make any other comments besides now he needs an ambulance?
After she shot him, she said, now you need an ambulance. She was
And-
talking to him. She wasn't talking to, she was fighting with him. And she felt like she couldn't handle him the way she wanted to handle him, so she pulled
Your
out
Honor, I
her gun
object
and she shot
her
him.
making comments of what she thought. That's speculation.
Okay.
Okay,
So don't comment about what you thought, just respond to his questions.
Okay.
but, Attorney
Okay. Now, you stated that in your testimony, if you want to go to page 7 to refresh your memory. And if you could look below where Detective Chapman says, uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your comments were, she said nothing. The police officer finally came from the exit. And he was like, who shot who? Everybody's like, she shot him. And the first thing she said is, I didn't even have my finger on the trigger, but he reached for my gun, but I never saw his hands come out the window.
That's correct.
Okay. So you're stating that you overheard her say, I didn't have my finger on the trigger, but you're saying you never saw his hands come out the window, correct?
That's correct.
And she was outside the window shooting at him, correct? That's what you said?
That's correct.
And another guy was like, hey, I got it recorded, correct? You remember that?
Somebody did. I think somebody did say that.
Did you ever get to see that recording?
No.
And basically you were in the crowd that everybody was saying she shot him?
Yeah, when the police officer came up from the exit, he asked what happened. She tried to say that that she didn't pull the trigger. He was trying to pull her gun, but I never saw him do that.
Okay. And do you recall, if you can go to page 10, do you recall saying that she pulled that gun out and shot him immediately? And the detective said, sure, she was pissed. She was so pissed, like she was mad as hell.
That's correct.
Okay? So you're saying that she pulled the gun, pow, Immediately shot.
She did.
And that's what you saw from the angle you were at right there at the median, correct?
Correct.
All right. Did you ever move your car from that median?
After the whole scene was over with, yes.
Okay. And where did you pull your car to?
I really can't remember.
And you stated on page 12 of your testimony to the detective you said, I did see the gun outside the window when it was fired. The detective said, did you see the gun outside the window when it was fired? And you said, yes, I could see it. I could see her shooting the gun.
Yes.
Okay. And earlier you said at that thing you didn't see her shoot the gun.
It's not what I said.
In your testimony, we were having just a few, when the state was asking you a question, you don't recall saying that I didn't see her shoot the gun?
I saw her shoot the gun.
And did you write a statement on that day?
I did.
They're gonna have to redact the information. Let me give a shark report.
Yes.
Get a black shark and then you do. If I may approach, Your Honor.
You may.
If you could look at that document there and tell me, does that appear to be a true and accurate representation of the document you wrote that day?
Yes.
Okay, and is that your signature there at the bottom?
Yes.
At this time, Your Honor, I'd like to tender defense exhibit number 38.
Any objection?
No objection.
Admitted without objection?
And now, if I may approach.
Yes, you may.
You fresh in your memory? Do you recall in this document ever saying that you saw her shoot him outside the car, outside the truck?
That's where she shot him at.
Okay. And you said that she jumped out screaming and punching the victim, correct?
Said she was outside of her car fighting the man at the window.
But in your statement to the police, you said she jumped out of her vehicle.
I said she jumped in front of the victim's vehicle causing an accident.
And then what does it say after that?
She jumped out screaming, punching the victim. She pulled a gun and shot him. She was not even remorseful.
Okay. Now, you stated earlier that you did not see her get out of that Jeep. You only saw her beside the window.
How else would she have gotten to the window if she didn't get out her car?
Ma'am, I'm asking the questions.
Okay.
I'm asking you a yes/no question. Did you see her get out of that Jeep and approach that window?
I don't recall seeing her get out of the Jeep. Once I got to Riverdale Road, she was already there. To my recollection. It's been some years.
But your recollection at the time it occurred when you wrote that statement, you said that she jumped out of the vehicle and ran up to the window and started punching him.
I would assume she jumped out of the vehicle. I never said she ran up to the window. I said she jumped out screaming, punching the victim. She pulled out a gun and shot him.
Okay. So that's not a true and accurate statement because you didn't see her get out of the vehicle, correct?
Well, that would be the only way she could get out her vehicle was to get to his window. She had to get out her vehicle to get to his window.
Ma'am, I asked you. That is not a true and accurate statement what you said because you did not see her get out of the Jeep and approach the window, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. Ask and answer.
There was no answer. There was a commentary without an answer. I don't mind her doing the commentary after she answers yes or no, but she never answered yes or no.
She answered that she did not see her get out of the vehicle. She answered the question.
Okay, I'm gonna overrule the objection and allow Attorney Tucker to re-ask the question to the.
So that is not an accurate statement you wrote because you did not see her get out of the Jeep and approach the truck, correct?
It is an accurate statement, but I don't remember seeing her per se get out of the vehicle. But she was at his window, punching and screaming.
How can you say it's an accurate statement when you didn't see her get out of the vehicle?
Because I was there, I saw what happened.
But your testimony said you didn't see her get out of the vehicle.
No, I didn't. I don't remember her getting out of the vehicle,
Okay.
per se.
But you wrote on your document for the police that you did.
Because this was in 2019, it's now 2023. So I really don't recall if I saw her get out of the vehicle. I don't remember every little thing that happened. This was in 2019.
Okay. Now, from that period of time, have you watched the TV media regarding this incident?
No.
Okay. Have you talked to anybody regarding this incident?
No.
You haven't talked to the state?
Well, of course. I thought you meant outside of the state.
Okay, when I say anybody, that would include the state.
Okay, so I have talked to the state.
Okay, and you did have an interview with the detectives too, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, do you recall when those interviews were?
Not too long ago.
Okay. And your statements that you were saying in your interview were different than what you were saying that day, correct?
So they're not different. What I saw is what happened. What I said is what happened.
Okay. And what you said is what happened on that document or what you told to the detectives?
Both.
Both. And there's no doubt in your mind, because it has been 3 or 4 years, correct?
Correct.
There's no doubt in your mind that she pulled the gun and immediately shot from outside the vehicle.
After she yelled for a little bit and screamed and tussled, she pulled the gun out and shot him.
And she was only yelling the MF, right? She wasn't saying any kind of cuss word, she was just yelling you MF.
She was yelling, "Get out of the car, motherfucker."
Okay.
Thank you, Attorney Tucker. Any redirects from the state?
Nothing further from the state, no.
Okay. May this witness be excused at this time?
She may.
Thank you.